What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Stand Podcast, where we are trying to do another fantasy draft as we lead up to the start of the NFL season. And guess what, guys? Happy football day. We have the Hall of Fame game tonight. Excited about that, which means preseason is underway, full swing next week, and football is here and back, guys. So this is where the nitty-gritty is going to start going down to the final 4 weeks leading up into your draft day. Right now, we're going to sneak in a couple of drafts here in the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard website and app. Great thing to download on your phone, guys. You can always sneak this in and essentially do a draft or two as you have some alone time to yourself. But we're going to go in here. We're actually going to try a couple of different strategies from the same draft position that we randomized today. Yesterday in our undergrad best ball draft, we did get the number one pick. Ended up going Christian McCaffrey. Would love if we got the number one pick, obviously, again, too, just to kind of test out, obviously, how would the roster look had we gone CeeDee Lamb? Or if the contract talks continue well, obviously, until the start of the season, may have to shift to a different receiver just to feel that security, which my pick personally would be Amon-Ra St. Brown. But this will allow you to kind of go back and test. Do you want to start running back early on in the part of the draft? Do you want to start wide receiver? So this is where it's going to test this out. In most of my drafts, we always do PPR, 3 wide receivers, so you will always see me mostly go wide receiver in the first 2 rounds and then get my running back champion in the third. We are trying to target Isaiah Pacheco, maybe Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, if they do fall there. That really all depends. Maybe if we have an early on pick, because they are going that later second, early third round. So we will see, and let's go ahead do a couple of drafts. We're going to randomize this 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And we have the 8th pick today. So we're going to go in, like I said, guys, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex, 6 bench spots, and then, of course, kicker and a defense just to pick your last couple picks. So this one's going to be a little bit different. Obviously, it's not best ball, so I will not be getting a lot of those backups on who I want. Here in the 8th round, I am looking at who is available, and man, this is actually kind of gross, guys. Looking who went before, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan Robinson, 1-2. Very different, very interesting. After that, Tyreek Hill, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb falling to the 5th pick with that contract talk with Breece Hall and Amon-Ra St. Brown right before him and before us, which actually puts us in a very interesting predicament. Because arguably the best wide receiver on the board, Justin Jefferson, is there available. However, he is a pick that scares me the most out of all the wide receivers that is available. Honestly, at this point, I would rather skip Justin Jefferson and move to A.J. Brown based purely on the fact that Sam Darnold is a starting quarterback there. I believe they gave him the biggest contract to keep him happy this year because they know, hey, this probably will not go our way. JJ is not going to start right off. He may need some acclimation to the league. So I think Jefferson, to me, is a scary pick. There's obviously some good running backs here available, but still, I'd much rather have a top-tier wide receiver. And personally, I'm going to skip Justin Jefferson and get A.J. Brown here in this spot. Even with Devontae Smith there, I still believe he is more of a surefire pick. And coming back in our second pick, after us, Justin Jefferson went, Saquon Barkley, Puka Nacua, Garrett Wilson, Devontae Adams, right there, 1-2. I love Devontae this year. After that, Kyron Williams, Jonathan Taylor, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Kyron Williams early on in the second, I believe that his ADP, I guess, is rising with everyone believing he is 100%. Very surprised he went ahead of Jonathan Taylor and Jahmyr Gibbs there. But with those running backs going, that leaves us with a very interesting option to take here. Obviously, I do have 3 wide receivers to fill out, and this is where I've been going wide receiver heavy. The fact that the best rookie available in Marvin Harrison Jr. is available means I'm going to take him here. And that gives us the chance to go ahead and get Kyler Murray later on without having to spend kind of a bit earlier pick on these other guys like Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. They are available here. And another person that is also available here, there's actually a couple of people here that I love. One is obviously Mike Evans. I believe he is just going to be a stud, be stout. Another is Travis Kelce. I think he is a smash play and is still a top 3 in that position. And the fact that you can get him in round 3 here is crazy to me. And those guys are in consideration because there are a lot of running backs that I like later on. That the fact that we missed out on Isaiah Pacheco, who went early round 3, like I said, this kind of works when you have a little bit more of a higher, earlier pick. That leaves you to go after some of these other champion guys. This is going to be interesting because with us normally going running back here, or heck, even tight end, I kind of want to test to see how this would look like should I go Mike Evans and just start off this 3 wide receiver roster with 3 stud wide receivers on my squad. Because even as I come looking here, Rachaad White is still available, who will be a top PPR back this year. There's still some other quarterbacks still available later on who we're still hoping on in Kyler Murray. Tight ends available. Trey McBride is there. Mark Andrews is there. Going to just check out these tiers. Rachaad White would probably be smart. You have your 3 champions. You get your 1 in Rachaad. Him only being that PPR guy, though. Is there any write-up on Rachaad? Well, 35 minutes ago, this expert note from Derek Brown. It's not very promising. Doesn't really get you back on him. So what I'm going to do is since we're going to be doing a couple of these, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get my tight end. Honestly, I could have did Trey McBride there since we do have Marvin Harrison. But then if we are targeting Kyler Murray, we're kind of just putting a lot of stock in that Arizona offense, which, you know what, man, I like Trey Benson. Man, am I going to have too many Cardinals on this on my squad? George Pickens kind of misses out before, so that's okay. He would have been a great pick. Oh, heck, check this out. So that was round 4. We actually took Mark Andrews. Which, as a rule of thumb, and something I always need to remember, round 5 is essentially when he's been falling, or someone will be there. As you can see, Trey McBride, Dalton Kincaid. So when you are filling out this formula, and essentially you do decide in your first 5 picks to go 3 wide receiver, knowing you're going to have a champion tight end in round 5 means in that 4th spot, you can either get a stout QB, the running back. In this build, I was kind of looking more on trying to maybe look at Kyler Murray later on. But now, looking back, this is definitely something where you could have spent a little bit more and is taking a chance on that guy. Because, heck, even then, it just fills out your roster anymore. Heck, and go Jordan. Wow. That actually would kind of be an insane build. Right now with this 8 pick, we have 3 wide receivers, 1 tight end. CJ Stroud is interesting. There's still some great guys. That's where it's like here, I feel like I did mess up, obviously going with the Mark Andrews in round 4 because there was someone else I could have filled in that spot. That's okay, though. That's what we're doing. And heck, guys, this is maybe episode 20. I need to be 100% sure, but yeah, guys, we are episode 20. Tier 6 looking. I love the fact that it does give you the pick predictor on when these guys may go. Kyler Murray's at a 47%. Do we risk it? It's a coin toss. We get him round 5. And then essentially okay, never mind. I'd much rather see what running backs are available. And they're really... Yeah, those running backs are not good. Which really didn't want to spend a little bit earlier on Rachaad White, but after looking at this, possibly still some great wide receivers here available. Obviously, we do have Mike Evans in that 3rd, but had we had loaded up someone else in that RB3, all right, take the notes. Take the notes. I'm going to spin up on Kyler Murray here in the 5th. That hurts me because Zamir White goes in that 5th as well. And that's honestly who I was hoping to be able to target in this build. Well, this draft may be a bust. I mean, right now, if I'm going on running back value, let's go ahead and take who can possibly provide those touchdowns and that value. Kind of sad there. Brian Robinson goes a little bit too. In that draft board, we miss out on Brian Robinson. He obviously is rising pretty early. Still to note here, guys, in 6 and 7, some wide receivers still available. Chris Godwin, Rachaad White, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson. Cheap wide receiver 1s. Zamir White going on in this 6 is a bummer to me. But that just knows to me that obviously his ADP is rising. If I am there in the 5th round and I do decide to go somewhat this build instead of Kyler Murray, go ahead, fill out that running back because there will still be some quarterbacks available later. Jaden Daniels would be a great example on someone who I am targeting should I miss out on kind of this last tier quarterback of Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott. All right. I will say with Brian Robinson going, that leaves us honestly with Raheem Mostert, who to me, if there were 2 running backs I could have on my roster, it would be Zamir White and Raheem Mostert. We're coming back here. And because in this round, this 6 honestly, to 10 round, you can just smash running backs because there's still going to be some starters available. Just looking up here. Tony Pollard, 1A, 1B. Javonte Williams, talks of him being on the bubble, but more than likely he's going to be the starter. Devin Singletary, Giants starter. Ezekiel Elliott, right? Chase Brown, getting a lot of great word. Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards. Trey Benson is someone who we're targeting because we believe James Conner is old and busted. Looking here, Jaden Daniels, possible 8th round, 9th round. That's good to target. Still some decent tight ends in Jake Ferguson and Joku who are going to be great as well. When did Keon Coleman go? Because Keon Coleman is someone who I love. There you go. How is Keon Coleman this low? Come on, guys. Come on. Slight reach. I'll reach every single time. As my wide receiver 4, as my flex, I'll take Keon Coleman there. Yeah, I'll take Jackson Smith and Jigwood. That's fine. Zach Moss, Zeke, Chase, Ford, Benson. I'm going Benson here, hoping Ford falls. Oh, Ford, and guess what, guys? Ford falls. We have Ford right there. Not a bad Ford running back squad picking up. Obviously, throughout the year, you're going to have to make some changes. There's going to be some pieces. Oh, Deontay Foreman, RIP, man. Well, not RIP. He's moving. He's fine. But, man, some sad news about him just taking a hit and having to be stretchered off. Good news, though. Movement in all extremities. The last running back I feel that kind of has a lot of value or somewhat value, at least at this point, would be Jaleel McLaughlin, only with the question marks of Javonte Williams. See some other ones. Tyrone Tracy is another good rookie to keep in mind and target. Quarterbacks available: Tua, Jared Goff. Obviously, we can get a backup. Love Jared Goff, though. Here, I mean, there's another tight end. I mean, tight end is really the only position we can somewhat attack. We are pretty set on wide receiver. I'm comfortable going for wide receivers. Obviously, one more would just shore up this spot in the 11th round. As my computer is going slow, wide receivers. Xavier Legette is down there. In this round 11, I'm gonna go ahead and take best tight end available. I love David Njoku. Thank you, Fantasy Pros, telling me it's a steal. Seeing who we lose out on, Jaleel McLaughlin. We do have 4 running backs, 4 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and Kyler Murray as our quarterback to go with that Marvin Harrison stack. Round 12, which means 3 more picks to fill out this bench. We don't need any more tight ends. Wide receivers available. There's Joshua Palmer, who Ladd McConkey technically is the wide receiver 1 there. Rashad Bateman, love it. I'm going to go ahead and give a shot on Rashad Bateman. A lot of positive talks. He is obviously rising. Oh, we do miss out on Xavier Legette. Was hoping he would be able to fall back to us. Young, exciting rookie. I love him as well. Oh, wait, did I say Rashad Bateman? I meant Rashid Shaheed. I don't know why I said Bateman there. Wide receivers, still targeting, just filling out this roster. Going to go ahead, take Rashad Bateman. Once again, they think another reach, but I will reach all day. Come back in, backup QB, love Jared Goff. Love Amon-Ra, love Jared Goff. Tyrone Tracy rising. And then we are here down to just your defensive picks these last 2 rounds. Always do it the last 2 rounds, guys. These guys are going to be in and out of your lineup every single day. Obviously, 75 out of 100. This is us going 3 straight wide receivers before going ahead and grabbing Mark Andrews. Obviously, around early, reached on him. We did miss out on some running back value to where our starters are. Dave Montgomery with the touchdowns, Raheem Mostert, some old heads. But We do have the excitement and Trey Benson on this rookie. Jerome Ford, who is the RB1 there, especially with Deontay Foreman use. Great backup in David Njoku and some good wide receiver prospects in Rashid Shaheed and Rashad Bateman, who is hopefully very healthy with Jared Goff to round out this team. We're going to go ahead and mock draft again, guys. PPR 12-8, 1, 2, 3. I'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and do this one a little quicker. See who falls in this one. And oh my, thank goodness, Amon-Ra, smash play. I'm going to go ahead with him. This is going to be another interesting spot. Hey, Kyron Williams is still available there. Isaiah Pacheco. I'm going to continue my wide receiver stack here, or playing the ADP on hopefully having someone of either Isaiah Pacheco, A-Chain, or Derrick Henry falling. You can see the percentages there of the chances that I'm making here. Honestly, everyone loves Drake London. What is he, year 3? We'll see if they make the jump. I still believe Mike Evans is going to be a baller. A lot of people are going to think Nico Collins obviously is still the dude there. Chris Olave, I mean, he could necessarily take the jump. I mean, I'll take Mike Evans here all day. And just to kind of look back, I mean, it's very tempting to go wide receiver again because someone like Nico Collins, round 2, a little heavy, round 3, I'll take a chance there. There's other exciting rookies like Malik Neighbors, running back wise. We'll check here. And there's 2. There's Rachaad White and Devon A-Chain. Tight ends, no Travis Kelce here in round 3 or Sam Laporta. We were 1 pick away where we missed out on Derrick Henry. But right here, I would give A-Chain a shot. I think he would be stout. Or we could go someone in the last tier. Oh, you know what? I'll do that. I'll try that. I'll go a wide receiver quarterback build. Running backs. We're in round 4. Oh, man. Josh Jacobs, don't necessarily like. And Aaron Jones don't necessarily like. Very crazy. Wide receivers left. We have DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Deebo Samuel, Malik Neighbors, George Pickens, who is an alpha, and I believe will be the alpha. And tight ends, we have Trey McBride, Mark Andrews. Right now, we are in round 4. We could play the ADP game, of course, again. I attack, or have been doing the smash play of Zamir White in round 7. In round 6, I believe, is where we are going to have to take him. Right now, it looks like his ADP is possibly rising. We're round 5. He is kind of an iffy shot on being there. So I honestly would probably give a shot here at a third wide receiver, essentially over a tight end as well, knowing the fact that Njoku, Ferguson, Freiermuth, some of those good tight ends are a little bit later. Heck, even George Kittle, who will give you some of those boom games. I know we need running back here. It's just, honestly, there's no one I like. And I'd much rather take, some of these other ones that we can piece together later on, especially knowing that Trey Benson is going to be a heavy target. DJ Moore, DK Metcalf, Debo Samuel. What's crazy is I put George Pickens right there. Obviously, with DJ Moore having a rookie quarterback, DK Metcalf, a lot of people are sleeping, but he is DK Metcalf. There's that three-headed monster there. Debo Samuel, of course, will have his role. Devontae Smith is the wide receiver too. Malik Neighbors, yeah, he's going to be a baller, but he's tied to Daniel Jones. Stephon Diggs, I think he's going to be the third wide receiver there. Amari Cooper, who, is going to have Deshaun Watson throwing to him. Zay Flowers, much rather have Mark Andrews in that offense. And George Pickens, who 47% chance is who we are more than likely going to miss on, but who I would much rather have as an alpha or a third alpha on this team. I'll take that all day. Let me do that. Let me piece together this. Zamir White's going early in that fifth. Well, Zamir White. This is telling me now Zamir White is now a 5th round pick. And that's kind of a bummer, knowing that you're going to have to spend up a little bit more on him. Honestly, out of these two, I would rather give Ramondre Stevenson the shot. Let's punt this position one more time. Hey, we still got Ramondre. Or Swift. They paid Ramondre. I'd give Ramondre a shot. I'd give this New England offense a shot. Jalen Polk is an exciting rookie, targeting later on as well. Looking on here, just the running backs available. Brian Robinson is a smash play as a second running back, as a third running back. Jalen Warren. Don't like. Javonte Williams, don't like. Tajay Spears, don't like. Devin Singletary technically is the big starter here, but as I'm looking at all these, the one I'm going to take is my third, which I will gladly take on the third. And then come in here and choose between Jerome Ford, Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards. Still, let's see what Derek Brown has to say. Three-headed monster. This is where, with the unfortunate news of Deontay Foreman, Jerome Ford becomes the pick again. Oh, and with going Jerome Ford, we do miss out on Keon Coleman. That was something I should have kept an eye on. Obviously love Keon. And should have went Keon. Well, let's fill out this bench. See if we can maybe sneak one more in here. Looking at players. Oh, this is great to know. Round 10, you still have people like Kyle Pitts, Jake Ferguson, David Njoku. Great to know. Young rookie and Brock Bowers. Okay, I'm excited to hear more camp about Brock Bowers. Wide receiver still available. Gonna go ahead draft Jaden Daniels here. He's still available in the 10th. I believe we just got great backup for our squad, for our team. Have Jalen Hurts anchor it. Should anything happens, Jaden Daniels young, exciting rookie. Normally, you don't have to go quarterback, double quarterback in a one quarterback league. But for a guy who provides as much upside as Jaden Daniels, I will take him on my roster. Xavier Leggett, less than 1%. Jalen Polk, 11. We are in round 11 on this one. Just going to check my draft board. And then we're going to start getting probably some more wide receivers, obviously with us already having the 4 running backs. Josh Downs apparently been getting a lot of... I thought he was having some great chemistry with Anthony Richardson. We'd love to hear how camp has been going lately. Rashid Shaheed. Sounds like Rashid was a baller, a player. Jahan Dotson is interesting just to see if he will bounce back. Shad Bateman. Well, let me go ahead. See if maybe Xavier Leggett will be there. I'm hoping. He's still there. All right, and also knowing, too, that I am going to have to start spending up on some of those wide receivers. Round 13, knowing that Brock Bowers, Pat Freiermuth, those tight ends still available, you really can punt that position this year. Week 14, or round 14. My apologies. Who is that? Oh, yeah, just one more spot. Let's see. Any value at the tight end position? Luke Musgrave. Can he take the second-year jump? Other here, there's Dontavian Wicks. It's there. It's like, would you rather have, Rashad Bateman still there in the last round? Running backs available. All backups. No one who can really give you value. Maybe Kamani Vidal 1 hour ago. Honestly, he could just have great value just by being the last man standing. Vidal could be a flex play in week 1. That is very interesting. What injury is Gus Edwards dealing with? And J.K. Dobbins, I mean, yeah, he's back at practice, but he's still recovering. That's something to keep an eye on. Just going through all. I mean, there's no one. Take Jared Goff. I love Jared Goff as a player. Maybe we should just did Musgrave to get that back up. Down to our last picks. Defense kicker. $71. All right, guys. Third one's a charm. Let's go ahead. They really want me to pay up for a running back. But I really don't want to. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just going quick here, guys. I'm just drafting right off the board. Really hating on those early wide receivers. Fifth round. All right, let me see this. Fifth round, knowing I need to go Zamir White because someone else has been thinking, man, if George Pickens would have fell, that would have been amazing. Looking up here, I'll fill it out with the running backs I want to, that I think are going to have the value. I'm going to reach on some, but these are going to be the players that I would much rather have on my team. DeAndre Swift's interesting. It's a wild card, but it's like Brian Robinson, I feel, will have the more value. Jonathan Brooks. Okay, what are we? We're in round 7. And round 7 means round 8 we are going to be targeting probably Keon Coleman around there. Ladd McConkey may be in that spot as well, which would be awesome as so. Which means we just got to hit on our third running back. Honestly, DeAndre Swift is there. I believe Brian Robinson is the more safer pick to have him as our third. I will take that, knowing we're going to come here in the wide receiver spot. Keon Coleman, 29%. Ladd McConkey. Oh, that's tempting. Oh, laddie boy. But it's take the guys that you truly believe in, and I truly believe in, who will be Josh Allen's number one, and that's going to be Keon Coleman. Other good wide receivers still here. I mean, right now on this roster, we have 4. Could get a nice fifth backup in either Christian Watson, who could still possibly be the one there. I still like some young guys. Like I'm sorry, there is some young. There's some value in some rookies later on in the draft. Let me get that phrase out. Hey, running backs, look at this. Chase Brown. We already have 3. Trey Benson's 35% off, or 35% chance to go the next round. Still just going to take him just in case. Obviously miss out on Chase Brown, Gus Edwards. Possible guys that could have fell to us. Going to read some chatter here on some Rico Dowdle. Apparently who is fighting Zeke Elliott for that number 1 role. Wow, positive news. Positive news on Rico Dowdle. I think positive news on Ty Chandler. He had a lot of positive talks last year, or had a lot of positive production last year. Still in that backup role. Right now, if we are looking at running back value, Rico Dowdle is the only one. Well, Blake Corum possibly. Purely only if anything happens to Kyron Williams. You hope not. He is injury prone. Chuba Hubbard will be in that starting role while Jonathan Brooks is out. Nick Chubb will be hopefully coming back this year. Quarterbacks, no one there. Tight end wise, Kyle Pitts. That is very interesting. I'm kind of looking, and yes, we have slept on our tight end. I will give Kyle Pitts a shot. Do we have a free Kyle Pitts with Arthur Smith gone? Is he going to shine? Should I just go back-to-back David Njoku and just get beast? Because I'm looking at this roster, and right now we have our 3 starting wide receivers. We have last year's MVP as our quarterback. We have 3 running backs who I will take as stars everywhere. I love Zamir White. As my RB1, I'll take that. Would personally love it more if he was my RB2. Like I said, if Isaiah Pacheco or, A-Chain possibly. That's kind of that threshold. Alvin Kamara has some question marks. He's getting older. Rashad White, yeah, he'll get that same PPR role, but I don't know. I don't know if it's sold me enough. But to have Zamir White, to have Raheem Mostert, who the coaching staff themselves say he is still the lead guy, to have Brian Robinson, who will be the touchdowns there, even with Austin Eckler, Trey Benson eventually will take over that role. I think we're solid. So we have our 3 starting wide receivers. We have Keon Coleman, who is the wide receiver 1, will be the wide receiver 1 there in Buffalo. We have Kyle Pitts as our stout. So this team is honestly stout. So where we are just building on the depth. And it's like, does David Njoku provide more value than Josh Downs? Than these guys? Down the road, McLaughlin? Maybe not. But I'm going to start filling my roster out with some studs. Wide receivers, Rashad Bateman right there. Going to take the guys you like too. And they're saying I'm reaching, but these are the wide receivers that I want to take a chance on. Troy Franklin, love him. He's down there. Jalen Polk, another one. Rashad Bateman. Running backs are washed. Quarterbacks, Jared Goff right there. I'll back Lamar up with Jared Goff. There goes all the tight ends. We got one more backup pick. Like I said, running backs, no one. Wide receiver, there's Rashad Bateman. There's Jalen Polk. Troy Franklin. There's some good, decent options. Jermaine Burton, who will be the wide receiver 3 there, possibly move up to the wide receiver 2. With this pick, it's either Rashad Bateman, Jalen Polk. We got a couple of rookies. We'll go with Bateman. See how this fills out. As you can see there, though, Troy Franklin went not too far from us. We'll go to our defense and kicker. And once again, we will possibly be looking at another 70, hopefully, maybe an 80. We'll see. Hey, look at that C+. We stuck in the 70s range. That's okay, because if you were a C kid, we're going to be friends. But looking over this team, obviously this is the highest rating one that we've had where we punted the running back position and honestly had to spend up on our, was it the 4th round pick, 5th round pick for Zamir White. I'm not upset about it. There's a lot of question marks. Some people want to be more secure in the running back position. I'm comfortable going Zamir White. I love the upside with Raheem Mostert. I think that's going to scare people. Brian Robinson as a flex will be consistent every week. And the fact that we got Keon Coleman, who will establish that role. Trey Benson sitting there to take over. Njoku, in case Kyle Pitts just is still stinking, and it wasn't just Arthur Smith. It was just Kyle Pitts. But we then have exciting another rookie in Xavier Legette, Jared Goff to back up Lamar Jackson as he's going to be playing in the dome most of the season, and give a shot at Rashad Bateman bouncing back. So really appreciate you guys following along. We were able to hop in 3 drafts. This was me going heavy wide receiver, which I am testing this out, obviously making some notes, trying to see where I can get the top 2 wide receivers in most of my builds, because I do have to start 3 of them. And at least looking here, knowing that certain wide receivers like Mike Evans, like Nico Collins, some of them are there in round 3, I would gladly have them as a wide receiver too. So in best ball drafts, it's obviously been a lot of wide receiver heavy. A lot of running backs have been dropping. Here, knowing that I'm going to have to go probably wide receiver, running back, then come back and get my second wide receiver in Mike Evans. Because like I said, if I had A.J. Brown, Kyron Williams, and Mike Evans, I'll take that. That's a great start. That's a great start. Or someone like Isaiah Pacheco and, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans. That's a great start. So that's me taking some notes, guys. And definitely to keep you in mind on like how you want to try and piece this. But as you get this draft, as you know your draft position, hop into the Fantasy Pros Draft Wizard, do some mock drafts, tweak the settings, Make sure the teams are all set, everything to heck, you can sync up your account, and I believe that it just transfers the settings. But appreciate you guys following along. This is the Fantasy Stand. We love drafting. I just did 3 drafts right there, and honestly, I'm probably gonna do a couple more once we get off. So thanks again for following along, and we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully in a underdog fantasy best ball draft. But if not, we'll come back here in this draft simulator. Obviously, tweak with the draft position and do another 3 drafts. Work with the formula, guys. But appreciate it again, and you guys take care. Bye.